Darley.
And she apologises for doing it, because I didn't know what it was.
Yeah, we'll say something very inappropriate. It's just
the
yeah. Yes. No, maybe she can't sit down.
Yes. So you should find a service booklet on your chair. And with that, I think we're ready to go. So this is Shabbat Ruchani, and we're going to begin singing Ana Elna Refanala. This is a prayer for healing. And I think it should teach us about having compassion for those who hurt us, because this is Moses' request to God to heal his sister who badmouthed him and condemned him for, oh, look, he's gone and married that Egyptian and whatever. So, and with that, because of that, she was struck with leprosy. And so Moses asked God to heal her. So I think it's a very nice way to start the service, as we usually do on Ruchani, because it's reminding us that we need to have compassion for people who hurt us. The next song in our Kabbalat Shabbat section of the service is really invoking the angel Shalom Aleichem. And there's an old story that on Shabbat there are two angels that go into every Jewish home, a good angel and a bad angel. And if they go in and they see that everything is lovely and candles are ready and the family is there and people are ready to make Shabbat, and so they make Shabbat, and then the good angel blesses them and says, may every Shabbat be like this one. But if the angels walk in and it's chaos, and everybody's fighting and screaming, and house is a mess, and somebody's sobbing in the corner and no one's speaking to anybody else, then the bad angel looks and goes, well, may every Shabbat be like this one. So a little bit of a moral story there. There are a number of psalms that would be traditionally used as part of the Kabbalah Shabbat service, and we have selections from a number of those here. And we're going to move down to the middle of page 2 with Sholem Adonai from Psalm 96. Psalm 96, Ya'aloz Sadai, the whole creation sings to its creator. And on the top of page 3, we have something from Psalm 97, Seeds of Light and Joy, Yata Adonai Adon.
Thanks for allowing me to sing this one.
Don't rely on it.
That's what they call me.
call to the eternal. Yeah?
What's
Moshe
that?
v'Acharon. continue with Daly. This song was actually comes from the mystics of Sfad, who used to go out on the afternoon, approaching the evening of Shabbat, go out into the fields and sing to welcome Shabbat, to bring Shabbat back to them, back to their homes with them.
They didn't walk, they danced.
Well, they danced, yes, but they went out and they danced around it. It's a waltz. It is 3 or 4 times, so you can imagine sort of dancing. Occasionally, Rebecca gets everybody up and down. Dance with Rebecca.
Calls upon you. Lord is yours. And by the way, I've only got the words for the first verse here, so I'm relying on you.
Hey, you sing my heart so This is the last one. Is that we're already standing up, or at least most of us are. Rise from the barbecue. Rise.
seats. We continue together in the middle of the page, English. Blessed are you, eternal one, our God, sovereign of the universe, whose word brings on the evening, whose wisdom opens heaven's gates, whose understanding changes times and seasons, and whose will sets the stars in their courses in the sky. You make day and night, rolling light away from darkness, and darkness from light. You make day pass, and bring on the night, and separate day from night. You rule the hosts of heaven. Baruch atah Adonai, Hama'ariv Aravim. Continue with Ahavat Olam. We continue together with the Ve'ahavta. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levacha b'chol nafshecha
ובכל נעדיך, והיו הדברים האלה, אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושננתם לבניך, דיברת בם, ושבתך בביתך, ולכתך בדרך, ושוכבך וקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לכתובות בעיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך, ובישעריך. למען תזכרו עשיתם ומצוותיי, והייתם קדושים אליכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם אלוהים.
So we're seats and we join together in English towards the bottom of page 5. All this we hold to be true and sure. You alone are our God. We are Israel, your people. You have freed us from oppressors and delivered us from tyrants. You led us out of Egypt, ever to serve you in freedom. When we were still power, we praised your name, gave thanks. We accepted your rule, and full of joy, we sang together.
Yeah. It's noticed that the pronoun is we as opposed to they. I like that.
Baruch atah Adonai Ga'al Yisrael. We're now on page 6, towards the top of the page, with Ashkenu. Grant, eternal God, that we may lie down in peace, and let us rise up to life renewed. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Guide us with your wise counsel, and for your name's sake, be our help. Shield us from sickness and war, from famine and distress, and keep us from wrongdoing. Shelter us in the shadow of your wings, for you are our guardian and deliverer, a gracious and merciful God. Guard our going out and our coming in, that now and always we may have life and peace.
Atah Adonai
to the version of the Amidah that we have in this service, Magen Avot V'Imachot, and we rise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elokei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el HaGadol, Gibor Noah, Elenu, Konei Shamayim, Haaretz. Magen Avot v'Imachot v'Parot, Machayei HaKol v'Ma'at Maro, Ha'el HaKadosh she'ein kamohu, Hameniach l'amo bayom Shabbat, Kodsho kivam ratza l'haniach lachem lefanav, la'avod b'yira v'vachad, v'nodeh lishmo b'chol yom tamid, me'on habrachot, el ha'odot, Adon HaShalom, Mekadesh HaShabbat, Mevarech Shvi'i, Meniach B'Kedusha La'am Kedushin, Oneg Zecher L'Ma'aseh Bereshit. And I think the English of this is really very beautiful. So let's continue and read the English as well. Blessed are you, eternal our God, God of those who came before us, God of Abraham, God of Isaac, God of Jacob, God of Sarah, God of Rebekah, God of Rachel, God of Leah. Great, mighty, revered God, God transcendent, maker of heaven and earth. With the word you shielded our ancestors, with the phrase you gave all things life. Sacred God, beyond compare, who took joy in providing rest for your people on your holy Shabbat day. We will serve you reverently, acknowledging each and every day forever, just who you are, the one to whom blessing goes, the one to whom thanksgiving is due, source of peace, who recalls the time of creation by sanctifying Shabbat, blessing the seventh day, and holiness, granting rest to the people overflowing with joy. Ichil ratzon imrefi, v'hiyon libi lefanecha, Adonai tzori. We can resume our seats.
Amen.
So this is what passes for Devar Torah today. Who knows what month we're in? Hello, very good. I knew it. At least I had faith you would. And it's traditional in Elul that we blow the shofar every day in preparation for Rosh Hashanah. So before I blow it, we're just going to think about it for a minute. This is me warming up the mouthpiece. The mouthpiece, it's pretty dire. So there were how many calls to the shofar? Yeah, there are 4.
Oh, the different types of calls.
Yeah, different types of calls. Yeah, no, I didn't mean that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
First, tekiah. It's that one long blast, that one long note that acts as a kind of wake-up call or a summons. I used to, when I would take children in the synagogue in South London, and when I talk about Rosh Hashanah, I always talked about a shofar, and I'd always blow it, and some of them would be mucking about. So yeah, you cannot go to sleep during tekiah, right? So it's a wake-up call, it's a summons. And traditionally, back in the days when this was used to get people marching along, that was like, okay, everybody, it's time to wake up, because we're gonna go somewhere. Then Shivarim, and that word, what did that, those sounds like three blasts. And literally it means breaks or fractures. 3 medium length blasts or notes. And sometimes those have been compared to the sound of weeping. It used to mean sort of, okay, you're awake now, get ready. Think about getting ready. And then teruah, that's a series of very, very short blasts, staccato ones. And those have been compared to an urgent alarm, telling us to rise from our spiritual slumber. And in fact, when the Israelites were marching around, it was the marching call. Let's move forward now. You're awake. You're ready to go. We've packed all your stuff up, and now we move. In blowing shofar, we use our breath. I think it's very interesting. We use our breath really to wake our souls, because the sound of the shofar is supposed to wake our souls. What's the word for breath? Neshima, but you're right. Sorry, because there are 2, and you're, yeah.
Ruach is like soul.
It's like sort of a spirit, more of a, like Ruach Elohim over the, so Neshima is the word for breath, and what's the word for soul? Neshama. So there's always more than one, but they're nearly identical.
I was going to come up.
So we breathe, we received, and we receive our souls, our life energy through our breath, because if we didn't breathe, we'd be dead. And we also access connection with our souls through our breath, especially with the sort of shofar calls, or you might have other sort of meditation practices or something where you might breathe as a way of calming yourself and thinking, reaching inside yourself and thinking about what you want to do. The commandments at Sinai were signaled by the call of the shofar. So it also should remind us of our obligation as Jews to keeping those commandments. There's a lot of them, but somehow I find that some of the hardest ones to keep seem to be: do not oppress the stranger. We just witnessed mass riots in the streets, people attacking asylum seekers, people attacking anybody that just somehow didn't look like them, people attacking mosques. It seems to be a hard one somehow for people to remember. Do not oppress the stranger. And another one that sometimes seems to be hard to remember is don't withhold a worker's wages. I'm thinking of some of my friends who, the bars that they entertain at sometimes aren't very good about paying them on time. And perhaps one of the most difficult ones of all is to remember that every human being is created in the image of God. So whenever you destroy another human being, you are in effect destroying an image of God. When you mistreat another human being, it's as though you're doing that to God. And yeah, I think we'll stop at that. The Hasidic master, known as the Daly Machane Ephraim, teaches that knowing the sound of teruah, that's the short staccato ones, means allowing our hearts to be shattered in order to open ourselves to the divine presence. So this is the month we take to prepare ourselves. We prepare to celebrate Rosh Hashanah, the birthday of creation. And then we have another 10 days to continue our journey to our best selves, to continue to take stock of who we are and who we want to be, so that with the final blast of the shofar at the end of Yom Kippur, the Tekiah Gedolah, which is the fourth call, we can emerge as who we are meant to be, having discarded the old habits and the beliefs that hold us back from realizing our potential. May we all journey well. Oh, not very good.
Don't do elevators every morning.
It is very interesting, because sometimes I have gone out in the garden and
No.
yeah, and blown it. And the most interesting thing is when you hear somebody else blowing it and you realize that there's somebody else Jewish in the neighborhood and you don't have the faintest idea who they are. But the sound carries quite a long ways.
It's sort of a conversation between.
And in fact, yeah, that is a very powerful thing, that there are other shofar calls. The years that I led the High Holy Day services in Krakow and Rosh Hashanah, well, everybody started and sort of ended at a different time, but there was a kind of period in the middle where people were blowing shofar, and one group would be blowing and the next group would be blowing, and so all over
We are talking about different synagogues, not
different synagogues, yeah, different synagogues within Krakow. So you just hear all of these different shofars, and of course every shofar has a different sound as well. So high ones, low ones, loud ones, fainter ones. It was quite amazing, wasn't it? And there was one very memorable Rosh Hashanah that the wind started to blow, and the synagogue that we used was something like 500 years old, and the wind actually blew through the window and it made a shofar call, and it was just incredible. It was like all of the shofars that had been blown in that synagogue for all those hundreds of years were somehow now being blown.
on the walls of pictures, photographs of people, of families who've been there in the 30s.
Yeah, 30s and 40s, and in fact, many of them, you know, we're still there after the Second World War because people in Krakow did survive. And
So it's like giving their voice
to all
to
these people,
generations.
and
Must be scary.
no, it was just very, very moving, actually, just the feeling. Those pictures, actually, it was very interesting because the first time I was there and I was looking at all of their names, And I realized that one of them was a family of someone that I knew in Salt Lake, a guy called Ike Rose, who actually didn't like me very much because he didn't think women belonged on the bima, but he was a concentration camp survivor. And I did kind of at one point think, if you only knew where I'm blowing shofar. So, something to think about, because we've got most of the month left to get to Rosh Hashanah, and then another 10 days, so work on it. We all have to work on it. And now we come to our Alelu substitution. And then, are you playing it? Good. I was saying this was composed by Rebecca Seeman. So as we prepare for the Kaddish, the growing good of the world is partly dependent on historic acts. And that things are not so bad with you and me as they might have been, is half owing to the number who live faithfully a hidden life and rest in unvisited tombs. As we rise, we remember that even when they are gone and departed are with us, they inspire us to live as in their higher moments they themselves sought to live. We remember them now. They remain in our hearts. They are a continual blessing. And this Shabbat we think of Marie Renee Thornfield, the mother of Jolyon Ostrich, of Henry Singerman, grandfather of Rebecca, the father of David and father-in-law of Margaret. We think of we remember Isidore and Barry Levine, the father and brother of Sandra Levine, and of Bella Pfeiffer, the mother of Michael Pfeiffer. Are there any other names that anyone?
Yes, I've got, first of all, a friend of a friend who died recently. He worked for HML. He actually had a nasty bike accident about a year ago. Has been in a coma ever since, and he died just today. His name's Daly. And then I'd like to also say the names of the 6 hostages that were killed last week. Ollie Danilo, Arnold Surusi, Shabbat Ruchani, Alexander Labanov, Kamal Garrett, and Eden Ruchani.
And I'm thinking of a friend of mine, Truff, who's a friend from Cardiff.
I'd like to say something. Debbie Brandon. Yesterday. Sorry,
Gosh. So for those that we've named, for those whose names we hold in our hearts, we say together, Yid Gadol. rote, Yamri Mafute, Bakayakon, Yamakon, Bakay Kol Beit Israel, Bagalah Isman Kari Kibru, Amen. Yehe Shemei Rabba Mevorach, Leolam Me'amaya. Yitbarach, Yishtabach, Yitba'ar, Yitramam, Yitnase, Yithadar, Yitale, Yitolam, Shmei Kusha, Ruchu, Elam, Kol Birchata, V'shirata, Tishbechata, V'nechemata, Ta'amiran, Le'alma, V'uru, Amen. Yehe Shalom Rabba Min Shemaya, B'chaim Aleinu, Al Kol Yisrael, V'imru, Amen. Oseh Shalom V'imru, Ruyaseh Shalom, Aleinu, Al Kol Yisrael, Al Kol B'nei Adam, V'imru, Amen. And we resume our seats for a few moments. Are there any announcements? I'm sure there are.
Make sure you check your recipe book, which Bob has here for Bahamas on the ALS Remembers Evening on October the 7th. Is the recipe there for Knuckles to Trans, but I've actually chose mine and then I realised it was actually Alexander Ivanov's, who I just said the name, who was one of the 6 that was killed last week. So I'll be making his cabbage colour something. So yeah, just there and then everything will be taken. So you remember October the 7th, 7 p.m.
And it's probably also worth thinking that next week, the Erev Shabbat is Shabbat at home, and it's at Craig's.
Yes, with my wife will be
with love.
Yeah.
So, and
Also, hope to see everyone here on Sunday for the Rounders.
Oh yeah.
Which is now
over there.
Make it
Now.
a hat trick. Yeah? Hat trick Team Rebecca. He's going to be so competitive on Sunday.
Should be alright.
Yeah.
You should have a good day. We're down in Brighton, where unfortunately it's supposed to be raining.
You'll be in class somewhere, so.
Thought remembering that we closed today with Misha Baruch, Debbie Freeman Misha Baruch. I think we, especially as we're approaching High Holy Days, that we need to think about finding the courage to make our lives a blessing, because sometimes that's one of the most difficult things that we do. And also, of course, the second verse asking to remember those who are in need of healing. So let's join together in singing this. It's on page 10. It's the very last thing in the service. Join together for a supper.
Yeah.
We hope there's food.
Yes, there is food.
Yeah, there is.
Good.
Do you need to still get ours from the booth?
Oh, no, so